small conversation regarding some activities of Pak Zulkifli Bin Rahmat.
Yes.
He is the director of STET,
Yes.
Homeland Security Singapore.
Yes.
We invite Pak Zulkifli to our conference here at concerning business continuity management.
Sure.
First of all, Pak Zul, would you please share with us your current activity in business continuity?
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Pak Daddy. First of all, I would like to thank Pak Daddy for inviting me here. In fact, the question on to highlight on what are the business activities with regards to business continuity is this. I would like to start off first with saying that business continuity business it became an automatic business for us as a tail-end version of our risk management consultancy project that is a core business of my company. Yeah. So as an automatic business coming in, because when we do projects for basically a lot of government facilities and entities, a lot of them now are moving towards business continuity as form of a more comprehensive solution to than just contingency planning or emergency planning. Because as you know that my company itself is doing security, homeland security. People might be wondering, what is homeland security got to do with business continuity? But my answer to them is very simple. It's got a lot to do with business continuity, because in doing security planning, what are we trying to ensure? We're trying to ensure that business goes as normal if there is an security incident. When business has got to go normal, operating normally, or operating at the core business functions, it is as good as saying that you are doing it for business continuity. That is the reason why, rather than you put security management as one track, business continuity as another track, it makes business sense as well as operational sense to put security management planning and business continuity planning as one track, rather than you do different disciplines altogether. That is the reason why the formula back in Singapore, which I would like to share and bring it across with the neighbors, is that let's not work in isolation. Security planning and business continuity planning and emergency planning and contingency planning and whatever planning has got to be one, so that at the end of the day, we do not need different disciplined people who do not talk to each other and they do differently when it comes to the same incident. You see? So it makes business sense as well as operational sense. That is why we are moving into that part of consultancy. Yes.
Now, in terms of project management.
Yes.
Tomorrow we are going to have a discussion on that topic.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Mostly the project will face some sort of delays.
Yes, correct.
And it will affect everything. Now, how, in a nutshell, BCM could play or could have a BCM professionals or BCM standard could have a major role in that aspect.
Right. Delays
besides
in
project management.
Sure. Delays in projects, right? I think it's we can only plan up to a certain degree, whereby, like it or not, there are predictable delays, which through experience, through market norm, through what we hear and read, these are predictable delays, like say theft, employee sabotage, for example, right? Could cause certain delays to project, or even suppliers, suddenly just refuse, for whatever reason, refuse to operate, and then we are suffering downline. All right, so these are predictable delays. Then there's another one which I would like to stress: unpredictable delays, which are something that is way beyond our control. Right? It could be anything. Remember Murphy's Law?
Yes.
Anything can happen, will happen. Exactly. So now, in my interpretation of business continuity for managing project delays, I would like to look at those predictable delays. Delays that we know within our control, that we can look at, and we are able to manage it, preempt, and try ourselves. Because at the end of the day, if we don't put our house in order to manage predictable delays, when it comes to managing unpredictable delays, here we are, unpredictable delays we cannot handle. Unpredictable delay, what more? We are even having a double whammy. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now, let's define predictable delays, which I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. There are, I would say, many predictable delays that we are looking at, the causes of predictable delays, from communication, from change management, right? Because when we talk about project management itself, when we look at project, right, project management, there are changes to project. There is no project that starts off with, hey, it's going to be like this. At the end of the day, it's going to be the same. Because when you look at projects, it's going to be a time-consuming project, usually, right? From the start to the end, certain things will happen. Changes in the environment, changes to the specification, changes to the deliverables, and even sometimes when we talk about projects, it's always client or customer's requirement will sometimes change. Tomorrow they wake up from the bed and say that, I think my product has got to be looking more gold-plated, slightly more crystal, it looks a bit more bling as compared to what was initially ordered. Correct, you see? So that's why, things like that, I would say change management, usually what happened was, we are too accommodating as project managers, we are too accommodating sometimes, and we don't usually record for change management. So that's one, communication, change management. Sometimes you look at internal sources, internal resources, project people, project team. Are they aware of risk assessment? Are they able to conduct risk assessment while doing project? And project risk assessment itself, even BCM will always state this: you got to do your risk assessment. And risk assessment itself, it is not you start your project and you do one time of risk assessment and that's it. Risk assessment is an iterative process which, when you continue with your project, it's got to be looking at review and review and review. Because like I say, it's a time-consuming project. Things will change, environment will change, people will change, and everything else will change. So what you need to do is, you do your risk assessment, you manage that risk, because don't forget, we want to travel from point A to point B, right? Whatever happens in between is something that we need to control so that we get to point B. So that is why things like this are important for us to consider. There are a couple of other factors also, but if I were to go there, then I might, it's a bit difficult for me to say right now. Yeah. So that's in a nutshell, couple of internal causes that we need to take a look at, and we need to rectify for us to be able to better handle projects. And of course, really, when projects become delayed, the actions that we need to do is, come on, it's delayed because unexpected and sometimes beyond our control. What we need to do is, we need to be upfront about it. Tell the customer, say, Mr. Customer, the project is going to be delayed, or the project is delayed. But I will assure you that I will bring it back to track by doing this. Rather than you hide everything. You sweep everything under the carpet. It will snowball to become something bigger, something bad, and you will get the repercussion at the end of the day. Yeah, I think that's the best way to handle, because at the end of the day, projects, if were to be delayed because of certain uncontrolled factors, for example, unexpected delays due to something that we cannot control, beyond our control, we got to manage it properly. So that's why project management for BCM will also run it in such a way that you must be able to manage it appropriately. There's no medicine to say that I do a project, there will never be a delay, I can guarantee you 100%. there is no such thing as a guarantee of 100%. See, so that's why. Yeah.
So a good project manager should be also a good risk manager or BCM manager.
Okay, I would say that like any profession, experience it's very good, but evidence of experience sometimes it's very difficult to produce, and people will not be convinced. I would say that to be a good project managers, you need to have all the skill sets required to manage a project, which include project management. You need, because now we're talking about business continuity, right? Of course, which I spoke earlier, business continuity, I interpret business continuity as part of a risk management pillar, a pillar under the risk management or enterprise risk management, right? It could be, so a risk management skill set is also good requirement, because at the end of the day, remember I mentioned just now, you got to be able to do a risk assessment, and by having identified what are your risk profile of each of the works or critical part of works to the project
from face to face,
then only then you'll be able to manage that risk. Yeah, in able to manage that risk, one of the medicine of managing of risk would be BCM, right? It could be, right? Many other things also. There will be a lot of risk control, right? You can also have many other skill sets that would be required. For example, for project manager, you got to have a budgeting, be able to budget, manage budget. That's very important, because project, come on, the tagline for project, a good project is on time, on budget. That is a two important thing, because if you don't get on time, you are delayed, you are screwed. It's as good as failing that project. If you're on time, but your budget, poof, way above, beyond the roof, then it's as good as a failed project. Because if I can do a project that costs, say, $500,000, why do you need to take 20 million to do a project? But yeah, you can do it like in a week's time or shorter than the project. There's no point to it, because all of us are operating. It doesn't make economic sense to be able to burst a budget like that. Yeah, for projects. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Pak Zul.
Right.
Thank you very much
sharing
with us.
Yes.
We will be listening to your full conversation tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you again for